Ahoy, mateys! Welcome aboard my podcast. I'm Jason with Jay's Paradise Travels. Appreciate you tuning in to this week's episode. And on this episode, I wanted to talk about my experience on the private islands. Two different cruises that I went on that went to a private island. Back in December last year, which was 2023, went on Carnival. Got to go to their private island, Princess Cays. And then back here in February 2024, was on MSC. Got to go to their private island, which is Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. That's a whole mouthful. I'll probably just say Ocean Cay going forward. And I am saying a key. I think that is the actual pronunciation. Usually those are spelled C-A-Y, looks like K. But as far as I know, the correct pronunciation is Key, kind of like Key West, that type of thing, even though it's spelled C-A-Y. So I'm going to pronounce it Key. If it is pronounced K, then I apologize, but I'm pretty sure it was pronounced Key. Although I know with like a Royal Caribbean, theirs would kind of rhyme. Perfect Day at Coco Cay. It wouldn't rhyme if it was Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which I do hope to go to one day. I believe I do have one set up next year going there. I look forward to that. But for this podcast, I'm going to record my experience with Carnival's private island as well as MSC's private island, putting them all in one podcast. I'll start with Carnival in Princess Cay. So the experience I had with that was actually a pretty good one. Did enjoy my time there. Very low key, no pun intended with that one. Low key, pretty relaxed day on that one for the most part. With their private island, it's not something that actually docks right up to the island. For those that have cruised, if you know what tendering is, if you don't know what tendering is, if you've never been on a cruise before, some ports or some islands, the waters are just a little too shallow for those huge ships to come in. So they dock way out, still out in the sea. And then you take a little boat over to the island or to the port, and then you'll take another boat back to the cruise ship. That's what tendering is. On Carnival's private island, Princess Cay, we did have to tender in. Going there wasn't too big of a deal. I believe everyone that was in my party, both cruises, I had 7 people in my party. Me, my wife, my dad. On Carnivals, there was another couple that was with us, as well as my uncle and aunt. When we went to Princess Cay, everyone, we all went together. I take that back. You know what? The couple may have came a little after we got there already. Come to think of it now. Anyways, so we get in there, and as we're getting on to the island, everyone is heading left. And if you head left, there was maybe some different shops set up, and there was the beach along the way. Everyone was heading that way. My aunt noticed no one was going to the right. And so she's like, why don't we go this way? Well, that's what we did. So we ended up going to the right. We walked down a little ways and came to, it was a beach as well. Maybe it didn't have any shops there, but it was a beach as well. And hardly anyone was over there at the time. It was actually a little bit more private. The whole island is private for Carnival. But at least as regards our ship, there wasn't a lot of people over there. And we were able to find some nice seats that were under a shade, which we didn't have to pay for. The shade was provided by some nice trees. So if you've ever gone to these islands, private islands, or just any stop in general, a lot of times you can pay some money to get maybe a covered seat or cabanas. They'll have those. We didn't pay for this. It was just, regular chairs that were out there, beach chairs that were underneath some shady trees. So it was nice to be able to put our stuff down there, be able to have that shade and enjoy the island. I'll be honest, I've mentioned this before. I am not a humongous beach person. There's a few reasons why. I don't like the feel of sand. I don't like getting wet. And I don't like how I look in a bathing suit. 3 strikes, you're out. The beach is not the place for me. I think beaches are beautiful. I love to look at them. I like to see them from a distance. I don't want to be on one. With that being said, though, I did actually go onto the beach and into the water, something that is just kind of against my comfort zone, but I ended up doing it anyways. And I will admit that I thought it was nice. Had a good time. Our friends did come. So all 7 of us were eventually around. Whether or not the other couple came with us or a few minutes later, I can't remember that part. But I want to say they came after. and we had some seats that we could be with them. But we ended up going into the water. If not all the way in, some just kind of waded out into the water, but we all kind of were in there at a certain point. My aunt had some snorkeling gear. I've never snorkeled before, and she had some snorkeling gear. She was looking under a ton of fish that were down there, ton of fish, and real pretty ones from what she was saying. And we weren't just alone. There were a few other people that were around. And as time went on, a little bit more people showed up. So that was nice. It wasn't like we were completely secluded on our own, which made me feel a little bit more secure. To have some people around is good. We got into the water, and as my aunt was snorkeling, she ended up picking up a shell. It was a conch shell. And in a previous episode, I had mentioned how a friend of mine who was from the Bahamas was telling me about a conch salad, which I really wanted to try. And when we went to Nassau, prior to this stop in Princess Cay, I was able to try a conch salad, and it was really tasty. Not to mention like conch fritters and conch soup. Got to try different conch things, so that was good. My aunt ended up picking up a conch shell, and she gave me. She found a couple of them. I was looking in one of them, trying to look inside. You see the little tiny thing inside, and it was very small. Couldn't see it, but as she's holding one, I see like what looks like this finger or nail or whatever these things have. I don't know. And it goes out, and I didn't have a chance to warn her, but it kind of, as she's holding it, it like got her finger, or tapped her finger, did something. More so surprised her than hurt her. Just oh, and she ended up dropping the thing, but which was kind of a little bit funny. Like, okay, these conchs have a little bit of personality to them, or at least that one did. Anyways, we put it back. I don't think she kept any of them. She may have, but I don't think she did. I think people do, just like shells, people like to collect shells. So we're in the water for a little while, and there was an area there where you could rent things to go into the water, whether that was those type of bikes that are on the water and you paddle and you go through, or whatever kind of water sports things there are out there. There was a place to be able to rent those, maybe jet skis as well, things like that. I didn't rent anything, but it was nice seeing them. But just the fact that I was in the water for a while, anywhere between a half hour to an hour, just chilling in the water, something that normally I don't do. It was nice. And then we got out, and still had that shady spot, dried off there. Again, I'm not a humongous fan being wet and then having all that sand. Again, I'm not a fan of that, but had our towels kind of dried off, laid out in the sun, and just really chilled. As I said, it was a very relaxed, chill setting there. We weren't far, right behind us was a bar, and as I said, more people started coming up. They would get drinks. You could get drinks there, and not just within walking distance, not very far away. There was also an area for beach volleyball, and they also had a basketball court. I walked by the beach volleyball. I didn't really have. I mean, it was just me anyways at the time. I went to the basketball and shot around a little bit with some hoops. And then eventually that other couple came. We got to shoot around a little bit. Didn't play a game or anything. We weren't really dressed for a game. But we got to shoot around a little bit. Some other people started coming and they played as well. So there was a little bit of activities that could be done there as well. They also, not too far in the other direction, was a stand with food that they eventually opened up for lunch. You go in line, and they had typical, hot dogs, and I think maybe like potato salad and a couple of desserts, things like that. Not a humongous buffet like you would get on the ship itself, but food nonetheless. And it was all part of the experience. Didn't have to pay for it. That was nice. So we ended up laying out, talking, just enjoying each other's company, enjoying the food and the drinks that were there. Because they also had regular drinks too. You could get water, and other things to drink too. That was nice. We talked about doing maybe a family cruise as well amongst my uncle and aunt. I don't know if that'll ever transpire or not. It'd be nice to have one. We kind of did that a little bit in Greece. Some of my family got to go on a cruise together. But to do a whole family cruise with my grandparents, all my uncles, aunts, cousins, that would be really nice. We sort of discussed it. Again, I don't know if that'll ever transpire. If it does, great. If not, oh well. But again, had a nice time. Anyway, the day was going on, and um, we were there, all day pretty much. At a certain point, we were getting closer to when we had to get back onto the ship. Everyone was still not super close, but getting closer. Everyone was still kind of chilling out. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna go on now. So I left. I left everybody, and just kind of went by myself. And I'm kind of glad I did. There was a big long line to get back on the tender ships to go back on the regular ship. I was like, oh, great. This is going to be fun. Stood in line for quite a while. And they did have a little bit of security thing that you had to go through. So I got in line, probably stood in line for probably close to a half hour having to do it. And just kind of, going in with the crowd. We're all like a herd of cattle trying to go in there. Got on. As I'm in there, I'd been standing in line for a while. I started seeing my family and my friends coming back too, but I was way ahead of them. So I knew they were going to be a little bit of time before they were going to get. I was almost at the front of the line by that time. Still hadn't gone on the tender boat yet when I started seeing them, but I knew if I had been waiting a long time, they're going to be waiting a long time too. So got on the tender boat. I was like one of the last ones on that boat, and we go back to the ship. I'm still waiting for everyone to get back on. I'm still in my bathing suit. I figured, you know what? Since I'm here, a lot of people are still on the island. My family and friends are still on the island. I'm going to go ahead and try out these water slides. So I don't have, there wasn't a big crowd around. And I'm glad I did. I'd rather do that when there's not a big crowd around. So I got to try. They had a couple of them. Got to try them both. And I still have my towel. Actually, you know what? I take that back. They have towels there that you can get on deck. I got one of those towels. That's right. And then just immediately after, kind of used it, and you could give it back to them. So I was able to get to try the water slides, and that was fun. Again, I'm not a humongous getting into water kind of guy, but I will try it. Just to say that I experienced it, and it can provide some fun. And I'm glad that I did. The cruise line does now have, or at least I've heard that they're going to be coming out with another private island that I think resembles more of like Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day in Coco Cay. This one I didn't see like a ton of things. It was mainly the beach. You could rent some things out, but like from what I've seen of Coco Cay, it's almost like a water park, an amusement park on the island, and I believe Carnival is going to be coming out with their own. From what I've seen, I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but I believe that's going to be coming out. So I would like to try that eventually. But for now, I got to try Princess Cay, and it was a nice, laid-back, chill day. And if you get a chance to go on it and try it out, I think you'll enjoy it. It's very relaxing. As regards MSC's private island, Ocean Cay, I'm just going to say that, so the rest of it's too long. That was very similar, I guess you could say, experience-wise. A little different, but kind of similar as well. So we started out with Ocean Cay. We were in a balcony, on MSC we were on a balcony, and it actually was docked with our balcony, which was on starboard side, the right side, not port side, but we were docked with starboard side being able to look at the island. So just opening up our balcony window, going out there, we could see the entire island from our balcony, which was really nice. I really enjoyed the view there. It looked very pretty. And they even had a lighthouse that is part of the island that you could get as an excursion. I want to say it was maybe like 16 or 17 bucks a person. Similar to Princess Cay, there wasn't a ton of things to do as regards activities, excursions and things like that, since it's a private island, mainly just beach. But that was something that they had. I don't recall seeing a lighthouse on Princess Cay. Maybe they had one, I just didn't see it. But Ocean Cay for MSC definitely did have a lighthouse. We thought about maybe maybe doing it just to have something to do. But our balcony was actually higher than where the lighthouse was. So like, all right, we'll just save the money and look at our own. We'll look at the view here just on our balcony. It's just as nice, if not better. So we just saw it from a distance, and then just was able to use our own view from our balcony to enjoy. As we were there, we looked down and we could see people walking. We didn't get off the ship right away. We took our time. We could see some friends walking, or some people walking. We saw our friends. So again, for this other for MSC, we had a total of 7 people. There was me, my wife, my dad, another couple, different couple than last time. But there was another couple, and then we had a mother and a daughter with us, and the mother and the daughter were very big beach people. They love going to the beach. Every stop we went on, they went to the beach, and if we were a day at sea, they were at the pool. They love being at the water, and that is one of the reasons I do love cruising, because it has something for everybody. If you are the type of person that loves the beach, I am not, but I still love cruises. But if you love the beach, you can enjoy being on a cruise. You can go to the beach every single island if you'd like to. And for the days that you're not at the beach, you can hang out by the pool if you like being around the water. They do. And I'll be honest, because it was their first time going on a cruise ship, I thought they were going to be around us a little bit more. And they kind of were. They kind of did their own thing and went to the beach. And that is perfectly fine. Your vacation, have fun. If that is what you do, that is what you do. And that's what they did. So we were looking out at the beach, and I guess they saw us because I don't remember seeing them. I believe they yelled it up, "Hey guys." We looked down and was like, "Oh, hey, there you are." Well, hey, have fun. So I'm glad that they were. We kind of watched them. We could see them kind of walk and go into the island. We eventually lost them in the trees and everything, but we knew where they were heading. And that island, I mean, there is a ton of beaches. Princess Cay, for a Carnival, obviously, we went out. You go to the left, there was the beach. That's where everyone was going. We went to the right. There was also beach. There could have been more within the island. I don't know. But Ocean Cay, I mean, it's pretty much all surrounded, and there's beaches all over the place. And there's even a private area for I don't remember what they call it, but basically kind of like their special members that they have. There is a name for it that is escaping my mind at the moment. That they're special members, whatever. I forgot what they're called. Again, I forget what they're called, but whatever it is, they'll give them like some private areas, some different perks. They have a private area within the ship as well. But even on their private island, they had a private area too, and it is just I can't remember what the name of it was. Apologize to MSC for that. It might come to me. I'll probably be done recording at that point. It'll eventually come to me. Anyways, they had their own thing, which we walked by, and I was like, no, this isn't for you. This is for somebody else, which is all right. I wasn't a big beach person, anyways. But based on my previous experience with with Princess Cay, actually getting into the water and actually enjoying the beach, I prepared myself to do the same on Ocean Cay. So I did wear my bathing suit and my water shoes on. I brought a towel, all that. We got onto it, and it ended up being a very windy day and almost like a chilly wind too. A lot of people were on the beach. A lot of people were having fun. I saw people. We walked around the entire island, and again, different beaches all over the place. They had people playing volleyball. Volleyball is a separate sport. I do enjoy playing volleyball. That's not what I'm talking about. Volleyball, beach volleyball. They have people doing that. They have people in the water. But I thought about it. It's like, if I get into that water and I come out, I am going to be freezing cold with this wind. And as it is, I'm not a humongous fan of being on a beach anyway. So thought about it. Didn't go in. Just walked around. It was still a nice walk. Nice, pretty scenery. I actually did take some pictures of some of the things that I saw in there. I'm going to share this with everyone. And as I've been doing this podcast, starting it out, I'm still working out kinks on everything. So I've been told a couple different things, recommended different things. If I record this on my computer, then I can put it on YouTube a little bit easier than if I record it through what I'm Spotify for podcasters and using the Riverside application. But the Riverside application lets me share my screen, whereas just recording it on my own webcam from the computer does not. So what do? So I've decided to do it on Riverside so I can share it, and then hopefully we'll get all the kinks worked out to be able to put this on YouTube, because that is the goal, to have this both as an audio and video recording on Spotify as well as a YouTube channel. So hopefully by this time you're seeing that. Anyways, I want to share my screen. So here's one of the, I guess you could say, the information center for Ocean Cay. When you walk out and you walk towards the island, excuse me, you have this nice, pretty blue building. You can see some people over there. They're getting information on the island. I thought that was a really nice, and you got similar structures that were painted nice bright colors, sort of like Nassau. I don't know if you remember those. And you could see different pathways that you could take. Nice, beautiful trees, beautiful blue sky. Different areas that you can go. There's a little boat that shows Ocean Cay. You could see that on both sides. There's one of the beaches with people on it. Another beach, and they had this. You can see their lighthouse bar. I think that's where they have food there. They had food on the island, and different things too. Different food. I'm sure Princess Cay did too. We did have the food that was right there, and where everyone went to the left, I'm sure there was food out that way. But there was a main spot that they had at Big Building where they had a good size buffet. I don't know everything that was on it because we didn't eat there, but they had drinks that you could get, and the line for it was a very long line. But they also had food trucks throughout the island too, and each food truck pretty much had the same things, but they were scattered throughout. So if you missed one area, you walk too far, you'll be able to get it in another. Hamburgers, hot dogs, brownies, that type of thing. There's our ship, MSC Seashore. I took that from a distance. Looks a little smaller. If you can see to the right of that, you might see a little thing sticking out. That is the lighthouse. And you can see the ship is actually taller than the lighthouse. Hopefully you can see that vantage point. So again, that's why we didn't really go in it. We just enjoyed the view from our own balcony. And I believe, here's a little video. Just kind of see the little divider there, a different island. Which I thought when you just walk across was kind of a separate area. Look how blue that water is. Looks very pretty. Like I said, I love looking at it. I think looking at the beach is very beautiful. Just not a big fan of going into it. So there's a few pictures that I took of Ocean Cay. Very nice, relaxed day too. They had some shops there too. I did go into some of the shops. I didn't go into any. Did I go in any shops on Princess Cay? I mean, they had a few things too. Basically, souvenir shops. Good stuff that are branded towards the ship, right? MSC. I think I did pick up a few postcards for MSC, and basically just used them to write like thank you notes to those that I booked, the family and friends that were with me. They did have an ice cream shop as well, which I thought was nice. Wasn't free though, wasn't included, so I didn't get anything. If it was included, that would have been really nice. Ice cream was only included with MSC at lunchtime. That was it. Like Carnival, you have your ice cream bar that's open almost the entire day. MSC was basically just during lunchtime. You could get some ice cream. It wasn't even like a bar. You asked for it where they had desserts. That's on the ship though. On the island, yeah, I mean the ice cream looked good, but it wasn't included. But I thought it was nice that they had it there. So we walked around, didn't get in. We did eat a little bit on one of the food trucks, food stands, whatever you want to call them. And then we came back. As we were coming back, we went into the different shops, maybe a few of them, and then got back on the ship. So I sort of had the same idea as the last time. Again, most people were out on the island. I was still in my bathing suit. Hadn't gotten wet at that point. I got wet before because I was in the water on Carnival's private island, but I didn't get wet this time. I didn't go in it. But I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let me try these water slides again. They had 3 or 4, a couple of them on one side, a couple of them on the other. Tried them all, and there were some on different levels too. Like you walked up, got one, and if you walked up more, there was a couple more. At least three. At least three. I'm trying to think if there was a fourth one. Went around the ship, outside the ship actually, and the very top one also. I went all the way up there. This was exhausting. I went all the way up there. Now, granted, that cool wind was hitting the ship, so I was still getting cold. One of the reasons I didn't go in the ocean was because I figured it'd be cold, but I ended up still doing it nonetheless. But I went all the way up there, and the top one you need a round inner tube, and you sit on that and you go down the slide. Pretty fun, but I had to go all the way down, get the inner tube, come all the way back up, and they make you sign waivers too. Sign a waiver, get a little wristband type of thing. That was kind of unique. Never done that to go on a water slide before. Nevertheless, I had to do it then. But I got to try it, and that was fun. That was definitely fun. If you're into water slides, I mean, they were definitely pretty fun to go on. I had to get because that wind was cold. I had to like psych myself up to do this. Like, oh my goodness, you ever put just your foot or toe in the water and you're like, oh, that's cold. You inch your way in. Well, you don't really do that on a water slide. You basically just have to go and shock your body. But you do that, and you're like, oh, but you do that, and a little bit of time, your body get used to it. It's not until you get out of it and you're wet and you got that wind blowing on you, like, oh, this is freezing. What did I do? I immediately regret this decision. No, but looking back at it, I'm glad I did it. My wife, I think she did take a couple pictures of me doing it. I don't believe I got them from her, so I can't show it to you, but they're there out there somewhere on her phone, unless she's deleted them since, which if she did, that's fine with me. Yeah, it was fun. Both of them were nice experiences. I really liked the island setting on Ocean Cay. Just very, very nice, pretty setting. I feel like I saw a little bit more in that than I did Princess Cay. Both were just nice, relaxed times. And if you love the beach, if you are a beach person, I mean, definitely this is something you want to go, especially Ocean Cay. I do have some pictures on my Instagram and Facebook account, Jay's Paradise Travels. You can take a look at those pictures. And if it's something that you eventually would ever want to visit, a lot of their itineraries included. They're both in the Bahamas, right? So with Carnival, we did that cruise was just a five night cruise, and both stops were Bahamas, Nassau, and this private island. On MSC, it was a mixture between the Bahamas and Mexico, which I will talk about those stops in a future podcast. We went to Cozumel as well as Costa Maya. Had nice times there. But the first half of that, the first 2 stops were Ocean Cay. Now, originally, this itinerary that we had went on with MSC was supposed to be 2 days in their private island, not just 1 day. We were going to be there 2 days. And I was excited because I had never done an itinerary before that had an overnight stay in a port. It was always go there, see the port, you leave in the evening and go to another place. I had never done an itinerary that had an overnight stay. You get in 1 day, you leave the next. I was excited to try that. But weather got in the way. Stinking weather got in the way. The day we were leaving Port Canaveral on MSC, it was raining, and we had bad weather throughout. So I still can't remember. I'd have to look at it. If we were supposed to hit Ocean Cay the very next day, or if we had a day at sea and then we hit it. I'd have to look at the itinerary. I got a decent memory, but something that I don't always remember. Either way, weather affected it. So instead of having 2 days there, the first day we got rerouted to Nassau. And we were just in Nassau with Carnival, which I talked about in the previous episode. It was still a nice experience. And I was excited to go for 2 days. Just didn't get a chance to. After going there, though, as nice as it was, I think 1 day was okay for me because I'm not a humongous beach fan. I walked around. We didn't even stay on it the whole day. We walked around, we looked at some shops. I came back in, went on the water slides. I wasn't there from sun up to sundown at the beach. So I think I probably didn't need to be there 2 days. As I think back on it, I think I would have liked to have just said that I've been, I've had that experience to be somewhere for 2 days. There are other itineraries out there that you can do 2 days in. I believe one of them is Bermuda. I believe when ships go to Bermuda, they stay there a couple days. And I've yet to go to Bermuda yet, so I would like to try that. So that might be one of those goals I have in my life, to go there and try that. Or if it just comes up again on another cruise, that's somewhere an extended stay happens, so be it. Cool. I'd like to try it. But if not, one day there was okay for me. Again, if you love the beach, if you absolutely love going to the beach, hanging out at the beach, chilling at the beach, sunbathing, going in the water, all that stuff, yeah, go to this place, because the beach was beautiful, and there are itineraries that you can go on there for 2 days, not just enjoy it for one day. Go enjoy it for 2 days. So definitely take advantage if that is the case. And if that is the case, please contact me. j.paradise.travels@gmail.com is my email. Once again, you can find me on Instagram or Facebook and reach out to me at Jay's Paradise Travels. I don't throw in an apostrophe, just Jays. Try to make it easier. Reach out to me. Love to be able to work with you and help book you on a cruise or a vacation. So thank you for listening today. Really appreciate it. And look forward to talking with you guys another time later. Take care. Bye-bye.